What's up, everybody? Nolan of Black Diamond Services. So today I'm going to be doing this Karistan rug, and so this is a machine-made rug, and commonly these don't have issues with bleeding any of the colors, but you still always want to test because you just do not know for sure in every situation if it's going to. So you can see Karistan rug, 8 foot 8 inches by 10 foot. So, as I said, it's machine made, so you can see that the fringe here was sewn on and it kind of wraps around. Whereas a handmade would be generally a part of the rug and not sewn on separately. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to test some of the red area, because the reds are usually one of the colors that's going to bleed if it's going to, or crock. So basically want to test that out before I clean it. So I wanted to take a different approach on this video, kind of explain the process of what I'm going to do to clean it instead of just cleaning it, and showing some of the steps. So I'm going to start out by dusting this rug and vacuuming to get as much dry particulate off of it as I can. Obviously that'll save you times of, or how many times you need to flush it and rinse it by doing so. It looks like there's some dark areas in between these patterns here. I haven't checked it completely yet, but that may be some oils from a pet laying on it, or it can be oils just from, you know, walking barefoot. So I may need to treat for that first before I do any other cleaning. Of course, that will change if this rug is going to bleed. I will need to watch for that and take care of that first. So you want that to be your first in the rug, is the product to help not cause issues with bleeding. So I'm going to go ahead and get this rolling, and we'll go through it a little bit. Okay, so when you do a test to see if there's going to be bleeding or crocking, you want to use distilled water. So I just wet out the rug, the towel a little bit, and applying some pressure. Now, if you're going to check for bleeding, sometimes it can take up 24 hours to get a reaction. I more or less want to see right now if it's going to crock, which it's highly doubtful with these Karistans. Like I mentioned earlier, they are usually almost, probably at least 100 or 98% of the time not going to bleed on you. So you should not get any transfer at all. But of course, you always want to do your tests. So if you have the time, definitely put some distilled water on a rag and then clamp it to an area where you think it might bleed one of the colors, and in that way you can come back to it later while you're working on other rugs and determine whether it's going to bleed, and then you can make sure to take care of it properly before it causes problems, because you most certainly don't want these reds to bleed over into like this beige area. Another step in your pre-inspection is a UV light. You're going to want to check the entire rug for any urine contamination, because if that is present, then now you got to treat it for urine. So look, see, there we go. We found a spot right here and right there. So now we know, so far, a portion of this rug needs to be treated for urine. So far it's only a little bit, so I may not have to do much. Oh, here we go. There's some more. And right there. And here we are more right in this area. And right there. So if this wasn't present, or I mean, you couldn't see it in the home, this is why we take them back and we explain to the client Before we start on them, we're going to do a full inspection in our shop, just so we can find out if there's something we can't see in the house, but now we can see here in better lighting. So you want to let them know that you will get in contact with them if there's going to be any additional cleaning required to get their rug back up to shape. So leave it open-ended when you give your pricing out, because this means it may take an extra clean to get this rug back in order and potentially get any odors out that may be lingering, in these areas. So you want to address those with the client up front. Do as much inspection as you can on site, but you want to tell them that you're going to do your final inspection at your shop, so that way they know that you're going to be 100% thorough with their rugs, so they get them back the way they're supposed to. So I have another rug from this client that is a potential bleeder or crocker that I'm going to have to deal with, and that was her biggest concern, is she was told by somebody that it probably will bleed, and so I have to address that. So always do your inspections. Alright guys, so next thing I'm going to do is start dusting. Now, I know best is outdoors in the shop. I don't have a concrete pad to do it outside, so I unfortunately have to do it inside. Alright guys, so this next step is done. This is a tool for the backup, for vacuuming as well, for truck drives. Obviously not using heated oil in some cases. Still use as much dry food or the rug as possible. So hopefully you can see on the camera the stuff that's coming out. Fairly dusty. dusting, the next thing I'll do is grab a vacuum and then start vacuuming it. Probably turn the beater bar off just in case. Alright, so at the moment I got an empty canister on my vacuum. I'm going to put it on like a area rug setting. Because I'm a little cautious. Now, this isn't the best way to do it for every rug, but it's constructed. Require different dusting. Different wall. So how I dusted it earlier, maybe the best way to do it for some more delicates. I also have this rug facing a certain direction, so when I actually start cleaning it and pushing the water off of it, I will be pushing the lay of the rug in the right direction, so it's going to be the opposite way of what you see me standing right now. A lot of times you can tell by just rubbing your hand across it, it'll kind of feel like you're going against the grain, like you felt a cat or a dog. So with the grain of the hair, it feels natural. Same way you can do with these rugs. We want to extract, push out the water, room it out in a certain direction. So both directions here. So those who are curious of what cleaning agents I use, I'm using products from Kenmax line. I have spoken directly in person with the actual chemist and learned from him. And I find from what I've had the ability to learn about, this stuff is the best. It's great that I have learned about his products and just basic knowledge about all the area rugs. Things are basic. The guy is very smart. He gives you a lot of flavor in his stuff. So that's why I chose Kenmax. Just because of that. And because of his willingness to help guide people like me in the right direction. Those are the type of people I try and surround myself in business, because they're the ones that want to see everybody win. And if everybody's winning, then that's always a good thing. We want to support each other. All right, so the next thing I do is mix up product in a 5-gallon bucket. And depending on what you want to do for the rug, you either wet it out, you want to wet the textile out, but it depends on the situation. Is this a bleeder? Is this going to crock on you? And is it got pet urine in it? Are there oils on the rug? You got to determine what your first in the rug is going to be, so that way you can clean it correctly. So if it's just dirty, no pet stains, anything like that, well then your first in is going to be a wool safe cleaning agent. And the one I like to use that I purchased from Kenmax is called LST. Low surface tension is what that means. And it's a great cleaning product, does a great job for the rug, and will get you in good order for what you need to do. Again, if you are going to need to get some dyes out of the carpet that have moved, you're going to use dye release, no bleeding solution. It's very helpful in this situation, or when you have that situation, I should say. And then there's many other things you could do. If you need to strip some dyes out of the carpet that have potentially migrated into a lighter area, like the red to the kind of beigeish color, then there's different things for that too. They have thought of pretty much everything, I believe, from what I've learned going to their classes. And it's amazing to see what is possible and what is required to even clean some of these rugs. You think it's just rug cleaning, but it's not. There's a lot of chemistry behind it, ways to do things. If you need to get spots out, there's solutions that you can use and solutions you cannot use. There's different protectors for rayon carpet, wool carpet, and silk, depending on what you want to use. If you get one that's specifically for silk, specifically for wool, if you want to use one that has UV protection, so that way if this rug is going to be sitting in an area where direct sunlight is going to happen, well then having stuff like that with UV protection is great, because then it won't fade your colors as easily, and it will also protect your rug. So having those options as a cleaner is great, because then you can present them to your client, and if they opt to have that done, then they'll know that their carpet is not only going to be cleaned professionally, but it will be protected until they need to get it cleaned again. So have those things set up and offers ready for the client so they can make a decision based on what they feel their needs are for this specific rug. All right, so first off, I'm going to wet out the rug a little bit, and then we found some urine in this rug, right? So my first step after wetting out the rug a little bit is going to apply a product that's called triple deodorizing rug shampoo. And then you want that stuff to sit for 10 minutes before you start to rinse it out. So once I dump that on, you let it sit for that time, scrub it, and then you can start extracting the water, rinsing it, and pushing it out using your squeegee or your roller, depending on the rug, what you need to use. So I'm also probably going to clean this fringe separately too, with fringe cleaner. And I know there's much faster ways to wet out a rug than this. It's just what I have at the moment until I can get a big tank, something that produces around 30 gallons per minute instead of a regular hose, which is around 6 or so gallons per minute. So remember, the urine spots are kind of right where I'm at, over here. That's why I'm focusing the majority of it in that area. This is a triple deodorizing rug shampoo, so it will help clean it too. Not just take care of the urine issues. I'm going to wet up the rest of the rug. I'm going to be overly cautious and put some of that product on all of it. Because why not? Now my next step will be to rubber over it with my scrub pad, or not scrub pad, brush. work it into the fibers. Now, when dealing with urine, you also got to take into account how bad is it. If it's bad, you're probably going to want to treat both sides. But this one isn't. It's only those little spots that we saw, right? And I didn't really see anything on the back at all. So right now I'm doing the top. And then if I have to address the bottom, I will. But it may not be necessary in order to get this in shape. So first thing, right brush shampoo. After I wet out the textile. Once I'm done with that, depending on how this looks, I'm going to use the LST, remember the low surface tension cleaner. And if you ever stumble upon a rug but the pH levels are way off, or you want to get it as close as possible back to what's healthy for a rug, or a full rug, just 5.5 pH, which is a little on the acidic side, and you use a full rinse to stabilize it, get it as close to that 5.5 as you can, and that's also helpful. For those who are wondering, I do have boots, I just didn't take them on. Once I start rinsing it, it'll be a little more saturated. So obviously this is not a bleeder or a crocker. So I'm not having to worry about that, right? No issues there. Just looks straight. Alright, it's been sitting for 10 or so minutes. So I'm going to sweat it out a little bit more. Get my boots on and then squeeze it. And then I'll switch over to my LST cleaner. And the next step. Let me know in the comments if you like this style of video where I actually have little wireless mic on my chest here so you guys can better hear me speak. I was going to actually try and do some of my carpet cleaning videos this way. I've had this for a little while, I just haven't really explored it much. I bought it for other reasons, but I know some of you have said that you can't hear me too well. Maybe this will strengthen that a lot to the point where it's much easier to understand me when machines are going. dries. Alright, so my next step is going to be putting the LST cleaner on. I already got mixed. I'm ready to go. And you got it. I'm going to scrub it again. On the buffer on it. I'll get more of the LSD around the road too. I'm sure you can tell that I didn't get 100% of it. But this will move it around a little bit. Kind of scrubbing sporadically here, but I wanted to get out of the way of the camera so you guys can see. Alright, and the next step will be to do some rinsing. And then squeegee the rug. Probably rinse it one more time after that with the squeegee. And then once that's done, I can use the rug sucker, what I like to call the four-man centrifuge. Still an effective tool. It's just obviously if you have a centrifuge, it'll go a lot faster. And you won't have to use the truck mount or portable extractor. All things that I do plan on getting in the future, like I said, the centrifuge. So I'm not busy in area rugs. I'm getting them here and there, which is great. I went and took another class on area rug cleaning, and before I even left, got a call for these rugs. And then the two runners 3-foot round rugs that I did a video on last. So if you haven't seen that one yet, it's the last video I shared on the channel. So be sure to go check that out. One big order, and I still have two more rugs after this. So and then to top it off, my wife came with me to pick these up because right now these rugs will not fit in my carpet cleaning van. There's just not enough room for this size of rugs. So she came with our other vehicle to help me pick them up. And we ended up leaving with a travertine job that Adam and I are going to do together here next week. It's currently, I think, November 7th. We're going on the 14th. You never know what you're going to walk into. This client got an estimate from another cleaning company, felt off about something, and she told me after I was done explaining what we were going to do for these rugs that they didn't say anything about that. And so the reason why it's important to spend that time with the client is if they have a specialty rug, like the silk and wool rug that I have at first, that I will be doing later. They need to know that you're going to take the right steps to clean them. And there was a good term that I was taught at the rug class from one of the instructors. I can't remember who made it up, but sometimes you'll get a rug from a client and they call it the scout rug. They'll give you one of their least significant ones to see if you can actually clean them like you say you can. And then when you deliver, they'll bring you more rugs, or they'll refer you to other people they know that have fine fabric rugs, or high-end handmade rugs, or it could be all Karistan like this one. I remember my old job, there was a house not too far from us that had a ton of Karistan rugs. And I'm not knocking them that they're handmade, or not handmade, they're machine made. It's a nice rug. I like this one. She had a ton of them. And every time they got taken in, or the rugs got taken into the shop, it was even, this was probably 8 years ago, it was still like a $4,000 job, and they had more tools than I have, and they probably get those rugs done in a day and a half, and have them, taken back to her on a week or less, so long as there isn't any special reasons why not. So once you have the right tools, guys, if you're trying to get into rug cleaning, you got to start somewhere, and that's kind of what I'm doing right now. I'm just grateful to have the ability to start. You're going to end up making good money in this part of the industry. Alright guys, so we went up the rug to give it one more squeegee run, and then because I want to be sure. I am going to use the wool rinse on this. Reset the pH. And another tool that's useful will help you determine whether you need to or not. So you can get a pH reader. I need to invest in. This will allow you to test the pH of the rug using distilled water. Then you can determine what steps you need to take. Or there are the little pH strips that you can get too. If you want to do it that way. But the pH little meter will be more effective. Remember, this was the low surface tension LST cleaner. Dirtier on that side, I can see more soil pop out from there than elsewhere. Alright, so next up is the wool rinse, and you want to use about around 5 ounces to 5 gallons of water. So I'm going to start filling up my bucket here, and then once it's about half full, I'll put the product in and then fill it the rest of the way, so that way it helps mix the solution into the bucket of water. A little residual LST in here, so it's foaming, which is fine because this stuff is all synergistic with each other. So it won't be a problem. It's just a little bit of leftover. So and then I just fill this up for 5 gallons, and then I'll apply it onto the rug, and then rinse it all out, squeegee it again. Then this rug will be all set and ready for drying. Alright, time to apply the wool rinse. So I will scrub this as well. I actually have to make up a little bit more, so I'll do that. A couple more of the rug. I didn't quite have 5 gallons, but I want to make sure this is distributed everywhere and not just half of it or so, you know? That's much better. And this will be the final scrub of this carpet. it out. This rug will be all done. I should also add that I ain't going to check the fringe. We have to do some fringe cleaning. Doesn't look like it. This fringe is actually in pretty good shape, but I'm still going to check and be sure. And that would be my second to last step. This client, she would want it them to be protected. So I am applying a protector on them. So lastly, for this part, wet it out again, right? And then squeegee it. And after I'm done squeegeeing it, I'm going to set up my rug sucker and do some extraction. Alright, so I got this slightly rolled. Go ahead and hook it up. Also, I want to rinse it too. That's what I want to do. Out of it, right? So I'm going to roll that can better see this. Face it a little bit there, so when I rotate it. I'll put that on here. Okay, so apparently my wireless thing died out on me. But look at, wow, look at all that moisture in this rug. So you can still see some soap and stuff is coming through. So I'm gonna grab my water hose. And I am going to rinse more of the rug. You can see I got it covered on this end too. So normally in a centrifuge situation, you really have to do this for like 3 minutes. On average, depending on the rug. So that would be obviously much more suitable, but this still does the job and gets you where you need to be. It's just going to take longer, just like anything. If you have tools that work, but as soon as you get the better ones, it just makes you more efficient. I did that with my carpet cleaning side of the business. The machine you hear in the background, it's big, allows me to do carpets and dry them out faster than normal. I have it on the low setting right now, running 2-inch hose straight from the machine. But when I'm doing carpets, I run it on the high setting. Yeah, and I have basically 0 complaints since I've had this van and machine. It has now been a little over 2 years with dry problems or anything like that. And all you have to do to compensate for the different machines is, you know, do more dry strokes or set fans, obviously, but this allows me to not have to utilize fans all the time and gets carpets dry faster. So hopefully you guys like the informational video. I will do these periodically, go over what I'm doing to clean them. But you see it's clearing up quite a bit. So once this runs for a while, I'll be able to lay it out and send it to drying with some fans and be able to move on to my next rug. So thank you guys so much for watching. I apologize, the battery went out on my wireless thing here, so hopefully, I don't know when it went out, to be honest. Hopefully it doesn't sound too bad. I'll have to review this video earlier on to check it. Hopefully it's still good. Alright, so the Karistan is done for now. I say for now because once it dries out, you always want to double check your work, see if there's anything you missed or anything that shows up after it's dried. So I will be coming back to this rug after the fact to double check it, make sure we're all good, front and back. And then, like I've mentioned before, this client opted for Protectant to be applied to this, so I will be doing that as well. You can tell it looks different a little bit on this side than it does the other side. So the lay of the nap is going this direction towards me, so naturally it's going to look a little darker on that side than it does on this side. So depending on how your house is laid out, if you want it to look brighter, you're going to want to lay this end facing either outward, so when you walk in the room you see how bright it looks, or inward, depending on if you got it by a couch like this setup is for where this one was sitting at their house. And if you want to see the brightness of it while you're sitting, that's the direction you'll want it. So those are things that you check with your client on too, because they may not know this, so you got to educate them on it, so that way when they get the rug you can lay it the way they'd like. Or if you notice on one end where it's gotten a lot more wear, which you can tell over here it has, you might want to flip it the other way anyways, so you can even out the wear of their rugs, so that way it lasts them longer. That's always a good idea too. Hope you guys enjoyed this one. It's a long video, but I thought some information on what I'm doing to clean it would be great, and hopefully you guys enjoyed it as well.